Welcome to the GEM video training series. My name is Jana Latovsky and I am the Data Team Supervisor. I'm going to review the structure, format, and components of the Adult Population Survey and provide some tips for customizing it for your team. The Adult Population Survey, or the APS, is a unique instrument used to measure the level and nature of entrepreneurial activity around the world. It is administered by GEM national teams to a representative national sample of at least 2,000 respondents. The goal is to explore the role of the individual in the life cycle of the entrepreneurial process. The focus is not only on business characteristics, but also on people's motivations for starting a business, the actions taken to start and run a business, as well as entrepreneurship-related attitudes. The APS has two main structural components, modules and blocks. First, the survey is comprised of a number of different modules. These are groups of questions which differ either because they are optional versus mandatory, or based on the topic of the questions. These modules are then distributed within the questionnaire in different blocks, which are differentiated by the type of respondents the questions are intended for. So, an optional module of questions about business networks, for example, can be included in one block, which is intended for business owners, and in another block, which is intended for nascent entrepreneurs. I will describe blocks and modules in a bit more detail, but first, take a look at a segment of the questionnaire. To help you better understand and keep track of the structure of the APS, the survey, which is provided in an Excel document, is labeled and color-coded to indicate the different modules and blocks. Pay careful attention to the formats used for block headings, interview instructions, indications of target audience, and skip logic instructions, both within and between questions. Now let's take a look at the blocks. They range from the unnumbered introductory block to block 7. For the most part, different blocks of questions are aimed at different types of respondents. While questions in the introductory block are asked of everyone, Block 1 questions are intended only for nascent entrepreneurs. Similarly, Block 2 questions are meant for owner-managers who are already running a business. Block 3 questions for potential entrepreneurs and those who have discontinued a business, and Block 4 for informal investors. The main questions in Block 5 ask all respondents about their occupation status, and additional questions are often added either for all respondents or only for some, depending on their occupation. Block 6 is currently unused, but questions may be added here in the future. Finally, Block 7 includes demographic questions for all respondents. The APS is also comprised of different modules. The core APS module refers to the group of mandatory questions which do not change from year to year and must be included in the survey by all national teams. These are scattered throughout the blocks, and data from these questions are used to derive our main GEM indicators, such as the Early Stage Entrepreneurship Activity Rate, or the TEA. The Special Topic module refers to a set of questions which change annually. These questions focus on different research topics, further exploring aspects of entrepreneurship not already covered in the core APS. These questions may be included in one or more blocks, depending on the type of respondent they are intended for. Though the special topic is mandatory for all teams, there are often optional questions within this module. Finally, a national team may choose to include a set of optional questions if they want to expand their survey. These optional modules may be suggested by other national teams, or they may be derived from previous year's special topics, either in full or in an abbreviated version. If a team wishes to add one or more optional modules, GEM will provide instructions on how to integrate them into their survey. Now let's look at the flow of the APS questionnaire. All respondents are first asked 4 mandatory introductory questions, and may also be asked 4 more optional questions if a team chooses. Then, all respondents are asked a few filter questions at the beginning of Block 1, which is intended for nascent entrepreneurs. If the respondent says that they are not trying to start a new business, then they do not qualify as a nascent entrepreneur, and will skip the rest of Block 1 questions and move on to Block 2. If a respondent does qualify, they proceed through the questions in Block 1. Remember, this block includes the core APS questions, which do not change year to year, and may also include some special topic questions, depending on the structure of the particular special topic module. Finally, respondents may also be asked optional questions in this block. Keep in mind that even if a respondent qualifies for Block 1, they may skip one or more questions as they move through the block, based on the embedded skip logic patterns. Block 2 has a similar structure as Block 1. All respondents are first asked a series of qualifying questions to determine if they are possibly owner-managers. If they do not qualify, they move directly to Block 3, and if they do qualify, they continue through Block 2. Block 3 and 4 also follow a similar structure, but are much shorter than Blocks 1 and 2. Again, a respondent is first identified as either a potential or discontinuing entrepreneur for Block 3, and an informal investor for Block 4, and is asked just a few subsequent questions. Block 5 begins with a group of required occupation questions, which are part of the core APS. Depending on the year, this block may then also include special topic questions, either for all respondents or only for those with a particular occupation status. And finally, Block 7 includes demographic questions which are asked of everyone. Now you may notice that the APS seems quite long, but actually very few respondents end up being asked most of the questions, and many of them skip through the survey quite quickly. You can find more information about average APS timings in the Request for Proposal document on our website. Adapting the APS for your team's needs is simple. You just choose if you will include any optional modules in your survey and add them based on our placement instructions. Also, please keep in mind that if any team wishes to add any questions not provided by GEM, they must be approved by the data team. Thank you for taking the time to watch this training video. Hopefully, this helps you better understand how to read and use the APS questionnaire. If you have any questions at all, please contact me or the data team and we will be happy to help you.